The Bison of North Dakota State currently in second place in the Summit League standings, but it is not by any amount of games. It is a three-way tie between NDSU, Denver, and USD. The good news for the Bison is that one of those opponents is right in front of them today in Fargo. The Coyotes come to town to take on North Dakota State. Happy to have you along, everyone. Should be a fun one here at Benson Bunker as NDSU plays host. Let's jump right in here on our Farmers Union Insurance pregame show. Look at our player matchup, brought to us by Choice Financial. Want to remind you that Choice Financial is people first. You can find out what it means at choicefinancialgroup.com. Some of the big matchups in this game will happen on the outside. That's exactly what we see today for USD and NDSU. Haley Dotseth was the leader of this USD attack the last time these two teams met up down in Vermillion, South Dakota. Meanwhile, Erica Gelsanite has paced this NDSU offense as of late, though she has at various points this season. She's the go-to weapon early. You see her right there. The senior middle at 6 foot even has been a big part of the NDSU offense. They'd like to get her going again. She had 15 the last time these two teams met up in the kills department. Let us look at our player matchup brought to us by Choice Financial. Allows us to go right into our keys to the game, brought to us by Pinky Homes. Remember, you get the keys to your new custom-built home from Pinky Homes, a family business dedicated to building your next family home. The University of South Dakota needs to be able to finish this game off. The first set, they absolutely dominated down in Vermillion, South Dakota. The Bison, a very, very slow start. So conversely for them, if they can set the tenor much better here in the opening verse, they'll put themselves in a way better spot than they did in Vermillion, having to come back from down 1-0. Let us look at our Pinky Homes keys to the game, brought to us by Pinky Homes. Let's go ahead and take a look as we talk about the Summit League standings. Let's go around the region, brought to us by the North Dakota Firefighters Association. Want to be more than your 8 to 5? Visit IndyFirefighters.com to learn more about becoming a volunteer firefighter, because you deserve to be more. Oral Roberts will take on the Leathernecks of Western Illinois, a mutual opponent and a mutual win for both the two teams on the floor today. We expect that to be a win for the Golden Eagles, so they will retain first place. Meanwhile, the other two games on your slate there have already been played. Denver defeating Fort Wayne and Omaha defeating the Jackrabbits as the clear tops of the Summit League begins to emerge. Right now it's a top 4. It can easily be a top 3 if the Bison win this game right now. Let us look around the region, brought to us by the North Dakota Firefighters Association. As the libero substitutions are brought on for both teams, it's a good opportunity to remind you this game is brought to us in high definition by our friends over at Piper's Auction and Realty. A big thank you to them for letting us bring you a huge matchup in the Summit League in HD. Check them out at the new Steel location. Reach out to Piper's Auction and Realty. All right, let's play volleyball here from Benson Bunker Fieldhouse. A 3-1 win for the Bison the last time. Now the stakes are even higher. Just a few games remaining. The Bison look to continue to protect their home floor, where they have been outstanding this year. Brittany Jessen will get the opening serve for the Coyotes. Looking for a little bit of revenge on North Dakota State. Gelsanite. First and third, no. The roll comes right side, and it's perfect. It is Jessica Jorgensen on the board with the first kill. It seems like more often than not over the course of this year, when Jess Jorgensen gets the first kill, the Bison do really well over the course of that set. Coincidence or not, it's been a thing. Now, they are going to get a freebie. Bree Rasmussen jump set, right side, rolling. Ella was unable to cash in. She was a disaster for USD in that last game, absolutely destroying that Coyote defense. Again, just lobbed over. The Coyotes unable to get in system. Now they roll, keep Gelsanite denied off the block. Well timed on that right side by Elizabeth Lotion. So USD gets their immediate side out and turns to Haley Dotseth. As they so often do, to the back, no problem for Abby Close. Second touch, dump there. Bree Rasmussen, her first and certainly not her last. Rasmussen will head back to the front as this serve will stay with the Coyotes. I think they're going to say that somebody got over the top, that Rasmussen made contact with the tape. An incredibly rare miscue on what has otherwise been a sterling play for the North Dakota State setter. Close the first. Rasmussen back set right side. A cross-court blast Ella couldn't cash in though. She's done a couple really good hits. Neither have resulted in kills yet. Now she's the diversion as Gelsanite sets it up and knocks it down for North Dakota State. So now Bree Rasmussen will enter her service rotation, and as good as she is in the front row, she's pretty good back here as well. Near the tops on this team in the ace category. Right side cross court, Rasmussen sets it up. Her and Purnell switch rolls. Gelsanite retains the third. Short set in the middle, dink attempt, immediately read by Erica and kept alive for North Dakota State. Now USD rolls right side, Lotion denied, deep shove, and a whistle comes. A double touch by South Dakota. Here you see Coach Jen Lopez in her first year with this North Dakota State program as the head coach. Meanwhile, Leanne Williamson on the other side, the 2016 Coach of the Year in the Summit League, leading her team to a regular season title. And that was a big part of it. Attacks to Elizabeth Lotion, a freshman of the year from a year ago. She has gotten even better here in her sophomore campaign. Now Rasmussen, the libero for the University of South Dakota, will head to the service line. So Rasmussen on each side. A. Rasmussen and B. Rasmussen. As that one rolls right off the block, kept alive by the Coyotes. Just lobbed over, not going to get over the block, but held on to by the Yotes. Now they roll left side. Block wins again for North Dakota State. Purnell gets the first. Rasmussen, the second. Gelsanite on the shove through. Read well by Brittany Jessen. Jessen watches on as the attack will come from Lotion. Too strong. The adrenaline coursing a little bit here for the Coyotes of USD. Pushing a few just a little bit wide. Alexis Bachmeyer going to check in. Good to see the freshman get involved early. Bachmeyer to the back, no problem for Lotion and company. One at the net, and it's going to find its way out of play. Bella's first block of the day. Gelsanite led this team in terms of pure statistical output in Vermillion. Again, those 15 kills. Bella had 10 kills and 5 blocks, though. Absolutely sensational, and was a revelation as a freshman for this USD team. Speaking of, Allie Malk's in the game now, and she destroys one on the right side. It's her first kill of the day, and she is 1 for 1. So a second serve for Bachmeyer is sent to the back. A difficult dig there for Dotset, but it does come to a left side attack that is there for Christina Susak. First attack, first kill of the day for the junior out of Colorado Springs. So back and forth we go in a contentious first set. Rasmussen to Malka second time. Allie is very nearly 2 of 2. That required a great dig by Rasmussen on the USD side. Now Bree Rasmussen sets it up. Purnell back to Malk again. Right back to the red jersey on the USD side. Shoved down in the corner. Outstanding floor vision for the Coyotes. Displayed right there by Taylor Wilson. Wilson playing as well as anybody on this USD side right now. Had a great game. First Leathernecks of Western Illinois a couple days ago. Hit .319 and a monstrous hitting percentage that is. Serve goes wide, so we'll see a couple substitutions. Emily McGowan coming into the game for NDSU. And Purnell will check out on the free libero sub and bring in Jessica Jorgensen. McGowan from the left back, a very good serve, and the sprint is not there, an ace. And the first one of the day for the Bison comes from the freshman out of Iowa. McGowan's gotten more and more playing time this year as a serving specialist. She's really blossomed in that role. Set over to the right side and a shot. Well struck by the Coyotes. Over on that far side of the court, Taylor Wilson delivering for the University of South Dakota. The transfer via way of the Seawolves of Stony Brook becoming a Coyote and paying immediate dividends for Coach Williamson. Set, but it goes right into the block off the hands of Dothit. Haley's going to get another chance. She got a lot more English on this one, and it'll result in a violation against the Bison. Too close to the net, I believe that time was Allie Malk. So USD rallies right back. The deficit is just 1. Shallow serve, Purnell takes charge, diversion in the middle, and it's the first attack and first kill of the day for Mackenzie Burke. Mackenzie coming off her best game of the year, there's no other way to say it, just a few days ago versus those same Leathernecks of Western Illinois. Had a good game as well versus South Dakota State. Another game that we brought you right here on the BEK Broadcasting Network. Dump to the middle, trying to power it through the block that time was Haley Dotson. She did not find any contact on her way out, so it is simply too strong, and the Bison back up by 3. Abby Close finds Susak in the back, tough set to Dotson. Dotson, though, manages to overcome the Bison front. It's not always about velocity, the ball placement that time, very good for the natural double-double for the University of South Dakota. She had one versus North Dakota State earlier this year. Leads this team in that particular category, or combination thereof. Rasmussen over to Burke. Mackenzie rolls it well. Now USD flips the point of attack, finding McGowan in the back. Emily McGowan getting some extra time off the wall. Jorgensen trying to get by him again. The joust now as it hangs on the tape and the whistle comes. Point North Dakota State. Double touch by USD. Rasmussen rejoins the South Dakota defense as Mackenzie Burke goes back to serve, and she'll play that middle back position, which has been a second home for her as of late. However, she won't for long on the service line. She sends it into the webbing. USD gets their immediate side out. They get the ball back. And now Brittany Jessen will be their designated server on this rotation. Jessen looking cross court and looking the right way through it. Brittany Jessen gets the ace for South Dakota. First ace of the day for USD. And it comes from an unsurprising place, a senior for the Coyotes. Short set, good roll by Jorgensen. The Coyotes weren't fooled though. Back set to the right side. Purnell on the dig for NDSU. Now Gelsanite too far wide. Good read by Rasmussen for USD. Recognized it right away and took advantage. To once again narrow that gap all the way through. The Bison have led for the grand majority of this opening verse, and they will not relinquish that lead as of yet. The serve goes wide. A service errors exchange now. Both teams recognizing the importance of this game to remain in a two-way tie with Denver. Second place in the Summit League and only one game behind Oral Roberts. Right in the middle, a shot as Kelly lays down the law for South Dakota. USD is not missing. The passing game has remained on point. Great set by Jessen. And South Dakota with an outstanding start, as we've come to expect from this Coyotes team. Bella's the diversion. It's a middle back attack from the 6. Doesn't go this time for Mackenzie. Rolling left side, Purnell. Off the rough. Good job by Rasmussen. And the Bison know how to play here at Benson Bunker Fieldhouse. They have been good in program history here, and that time they play it perfectly. Bella's second kill in quick succession for North Dakota State. Tied for a team high with Jess Jorgensen. Rasmussen to the back, Rasmussen to Rasmussen on the connection. Roll left side this time. Purnell again off the rough, and again Rasmussen plays it. Bump, Gelsanite down in the left corner. Seeing a whole lot of space over there. Dotson tried to close the gap, but Erica Gelsanite gets up and recognizes a wide open hole, and she fits the volleyball right in. Rasmussen just over the tape, kept alive by Madison. She rolls left, the attack comes right. It's Elizabeth Lotion off the Bison wall and down. Taylor Wilson will check in, replacing Kelly Law. Rasmussen to serve for USD. Burke, a difficult first touch. She's frustrated with herself. Her defense has really improved as she's played more of that middle back spot. That time it is a rare error on the dig attempt for Mackenzie Burke. Rasmussen, very good job by Gelsanite. Still free ball for the Coyotes. They take advantage to the tune of a Taylor Wilson kill. Wilson is the most efficient player on the floor for either team today. Just a couple of kills on a couple of total attacks. Pacing this USD team in terms of hitting percentage. Rasmussen to Mauk. That's been a good look. The diving stop is there for Jessen. Roll right side. Mauk again denies it. Purnell knocks it up and gets it over to Gelsanite. Gelsanite looking for the corner, doesn't find it because of Rasmussen. Bree Rasmussen sets it again. The roll reversal. Setter, libero. But the one roll that remains the same is Allie Mauk on the right side for North Dakota State. Alexis Bachmeier checks in, relieving Gelsanite, and she will go back to serve. Bachmeier to the back row. Haley Dotseth gets the dig for USD, and the kill comes for Taylor Wilson. Also had a violation against the Bison. Wouldn't have much mattered after a huge strike by Taylor Wilson. To the back, read well by Bachmeier. Rasmussen right up against the net, and Belian gets a little taste of the USD medicine on the other side. They now, the Bison, getting their own big-time shot. 16-16. McGowan to the back, and Emily McGowan with a picture-perfect serve there for North Dakota State to get them back out in front. They would love to slam the door here in set number one and prove to the Coyotes this isn't going the way it did in Vermilion. However, the server's trap immediately manifests for McGowan to try and improve on that ace, and it turns into a service error. Susak from the Essen Bison, and North Dakota State's going to get it right back. So Allie Mauk will check out. Abby Close will come in. It's a very good defensive back row right now for North Dakota State with Purnell, McGowan, and Close. Roll left side, it won't get to him. Jorgensen and Rasmussen on the denial. One again on the front, Burke up there as well. Rounding out that front line for the Bison in the current rotation. Whistle comes, that's a shove by Brittany Jessen. And now a timeout comes from Leanne Williamson in South Dakota. Bison by 2 in set one. If you were with us a couple weeks ago, you know we were on Erica Gelsanite watch. 1,000 kills was very much in the ballpark. She just got it now. Erica Gelsanite, 1K kills in the books. And the Bison senior out of Lithuania continues to make her mark on this North Dakota State program. A really talented senior group for the Bison this year. We've told you about it a number of times. Jess Jorgensen, Bree Rasmussen, Erica Gelsanite, and Michaela Purnell. A group that wants to go out on a Summit League title. They're on the precipice of that here in the regular season, but still one game behind Oral Roberts. The good news for the Bison is that they have a trip to Tulsa, Oklahoma still on the schedule. So North Dakota State just has to hold serve and set up what could very well be a Summit League regular season title game. Nice kill on the left side for Mackenzie Burke. But USD rallies. There is Purnell. Short set, Jorgensen just off the wall. Taylor Wilson keeps it alive through the block and contacted on its way out. So it's a kill for Kelly Law. Law's second kill comes for USD, and it couldn't come at a bigger time. They notched the points out of the timeout. We're locked up at 19 all. Rasmussen, Jorgensen rolls right. No problem for Susak in the back. Cross court, set off to the left. Dink attempt, holds on to that tape long enough for the Bison to get a Mackenzie Burke attack off, and it is a quality one at that. Speaking of Erica Gelsanite, she will rejoin this Bison attack, rounding out the front row of Rasmussen, Jorgensen, and Gelsanite. Senior, senior, senior in front. Just off the tape, picture perfect, and that will elicit a fist bump from Mackenzie Burke. Frustrated with herself on that dig mistake earlier, she atones for it in a big way, picking up her first ace of the game. Very nearly got another one there. Fonseca was there, roll left side, just down the line. Picture perfect snipe for Haley Dotson. Jessen back to serve. Down right in front of Abby Close. Eyes for it the whole way. Brittany Jessen knew it. She watched it go wide. Now a timeout comes from the Bison, 21 all. Very late in set one. $21-all, the action is popping here at Benson Bunker Fieldhouse, and the game brought to us by Farmers Union Insurance, as well as Dakota Community Bank and Trust, the North Dakota Firefighters Association, and the BEK Communications Cooperative. Happy to have you here on BEK Prime. Candy Beat, Candy M in the western part of the state, KRDK, out here in eastern North Dakota, along with a number of local cable providers. Bechtel.com/BBN is where you want to go. 21-21 here in set number one. The Bison of NDSU trying to get at it. You see the senior Bree Rasmussen trying to get her team fired up. Recognizing a pivotal swing spot in the early going. The Coyotes won the first one in South Dakota. North Dakota State wants a different tale here in Fargo. And Jessica Jorgensen gets the first point out of the timeout. Bison reclaim the lead by one. Bella's going to check in. Back to serve for the Bison. It is Michaela Purnell, the defensive player of the week in the Summit League. Her defense has been exemplary today. Almost a sensational dig for Mackenzie Burke. She got low underneath it. Simply too much velocity on it, so it careened out of the back of the South Dakota side. But a good job by Burke just to get underneath that and create a chance. Dotson down the line, finds close, short set. Bella's gonna have to play that one at a weird angle. That was a difficult second touch for Bree Rasmussen and the Bison. And now NDSU will call their second timeout, trailing by one. South Dakota 2 away. 23-22 is the lead for South Dakota. Rasmussen to Gelsanite off the wall, kept alive. Good job by Bella to get me over touch for Mackenzie Burke. Sent near side. Nice job by the defensive player of the week. Back to Gelsanite. Played out well by Rasmussen. Now back set right side. Dinked over for Lotion. North Dakota State holds on again. Shoved down, and that does it. NDSU did a good job to rally out of system again. But eventually it is just shoved down right at the webbing for Kelly Law and company. And it is set point for South Dakota. Looking for an encore performance of the first matchup. Purnell the first, Rasmussen the second, Bella the third, but not final. Jessen gets the dig. Rasmussen bumps set over to the far side, slowed down by the SU front. They're gonna go back to Erica. She's been the focal point here out of the timeout. Now the Coyotes flip the point of attack. Good lunge by Purnell. And there is why you keep Erica Gelsanite as the focal point of your offense. Huge point here to force the lockup or to end set one. Allie Malk will come in. Rasmussen will serve. Coach Lopez trying to get her team in the right spot, as is Coach Leanne Williamson. Rasmussen to the back, read well by Rasmussen. Back set over to the right side, spun off the block and put away. For the second time this year, it will be the University of South Dakota leading after one against North Dakota State. 25-23, South Dakota victors in set number one. Here's the good news. This already happened once, and the Bison rattled off the next three. For the University of South Dakota, you look at the numbers in that first set. They overall hit 262, and all of their errors came early. A nearly flawless end to set number one for the Coyotes sets the tenor here at Benson Bunker Fieldhouse. Now NDSU tries to bounce back in a big way. They will get the opening serve, and it will be with Mackenzie Burke. Standout player for USD in that first set had to be Taylor Wilson. 3 kills to be near a team high, but she did it on 3 total attacks. Hitting 1,000 to start, that's pretty good. Offense comes from off the net this time. We didn't see too much of that from USD. Nice run by Abby Close. Just bumped over by Michaela Purnell. Chance ball. And the South Dakota Coyotes take a move out of the North Dakota State playbook as the two-time setter of the year, Brittany Jessen, drops that one over for a perfect dump of her own. Bumped over to Rasmussen, Gelsanite into the tape. I think the case for setter of the year this year here in the Summit League is between two players on the floor right now, in Brie Rasmussen and Brittany Jessen. Two of them are absolutely outstanding at what they do. Jessen sets it up to the middle this time. A diving stop by Michaela Purnell. Battle in the middle is perfect for Jessica Jorgensen. And obviously you're tempted when you look for of the year players, look at the team at the top of the standings. Well, ORU I think has the player of the year in the Summit League, and that kind of is beyond dispute at this point in Laura Milosh, but the rest of their positions are very much carried by the incredibly talented player out of Croatia, as that comes from Erica Gelsanite and down for a kill. It's not to say that ORU's team is bad outside of her by any means. They have a very talented roster, but your setter and libero of the year really coming from other spots, as for now, that one will head into the webbing and go right back to the South Dakota side. Dotson back to serve for the South Dakota Coyotes from the end in Bison, finding Abby Close. He's had a good defensive day, though that first touch not quite where she wanted it. USD calls for a double touch, they don't get it. Roll left side, Purnell gets the first. Rasmussen back to the dump, not there. Again, offense, off net, Close, Bree, middle, denied, Kelly Law. Kelly Law, as we talk about the start that Taylor Wilson has had, Kelly Law's been right behind her. 3 kills to go along with that most recent block. That's it to Close. Back set, right side. Nice job by Bella from the outside position, managing to generate the kill. So often she's winning in the middle. That time she rolls late, disguises it, and a perfect pass by Brie Rasmussen. Set it up, knock it down, Bison. Speaking of, Brie Rasmussen now back to the service line to her fellow Rasmussen on the other side. That first touch comes right back over. Chance ball, Gelsanite in the corner, tuck it, sing it a lullaby. Good job by Erica Gelsanite, well over 1,000 now, and notched up at 4 apiece. As number 4 goes back to serve for the Bison. Bree just over the line, finding Rasmussen. Back set off to the right side, spun off the block and away. That is Elizabeth Lotion. For the South Dakota team, again, won the Summit League regular season title. Losing a player like Audrey Rieg ordinarily would hurt quite a bit. Summit League player of the year last year as that goes wide, but this was such a talented young team from last year that they still remain near the top of the Summit League standings. And very much in contention for a league title. There are 4 teams that can make that claim at this point. South Dakota, Denver, the Bison, and Oral Roberts. Too far wide, no. Just catching the line, as it is there for Alexis Bachmeyer. A local kid delivers another good serve over to the right side this time. Bree gets the first. Purnell the second. Mount from the right side, got it and down for Allie Mount. So it's a very good service run by Alexis Bachmeyer that sees the Bison up 7-5. That run immediately comes to an end on that, a serve that is indeed too strong. Fonseca will check in for the Coyotes. Fonseca enters the game, and it's so tough to come in right off the bench. And that time it gets the better of her. She sends a serve wide. 16 on the Bison side will check out as Michaela Purnell gets some well-earned rest. Jessica Jorgensen comes into the game. McGowan to Rasmussen. Tough first touch, and it leads to some offense from way off the net. Clean chance. Malk off the block, denied and put away. The block won by Christina Susak and USD. South Dakota won the block in the first set, but not by a wide margin. That gap is starting to find some differentiation here in set number 2. Tough dig in the back, clean look, left side, well struck by Mackenzie Burke. Dumped over by Jessen. Now, Jorgensen tries to answer. A really good dig to bring it back, very much in play for the Coyotes. Still an out-of-system look. Jorgensen tried to take advantage, and she just missed. Susak lets a bullet fly that is handled well. Left side it comes, there it is. Mackenzie Burke splits the 1-6 in the back and comes up with the kill. So as Allie Malk rotates to the back, she will check out, giving way to Abby Close. Abby over the top, Jessen sets it. Over to the far side, it's Dotson. That one bounces off the light and actually may have been a little bit of a friendly roll for the Bison. Now, right antenna. As the near side antenna took the full brunt of that shot. It comes all the way off. That'll be readjusted. See it right in front of our camera. Luckily, everything outside that antenna is out of play, which includes our camera. Nevertheless, I'm still a bit surprised. Hasn't been decked yet. Although it did get bumped a few times when Laura Milosh was in town. There you see it. Goodbye, antenna. So for the Bison, it will be a 2-point lead when play resumes. We're going to try and even things up and make it a best of 3 at the break here in Benson Bunker Fieldhouse. Some Michaela Purnell fans with the Pennywise sign. Always good signs here at the BBF. We had a number 2 is my cousin about a week ago versus the Leathernecks of Western Illinois. Reference to the athletic family of Allie Malk. And plenty of others in support of the Bison of NDSU. A good crowd here, as you'd expect anytime the Bison play here at home, but particularly on a home football weekend. And now Abby Close will go back to serve, and we will resume play on the volleyball court. The Bison leading by 2 and looking to hold on. They led at the early juncture of set 1, and it was a Coyote rally to bounce back. Bumped over, free ball. NDSU, Rasmussen, back set, right side, and down for Jessica Jorgensen. Jess has a team high, 5 kills, but she's done it on an efficient 11 total attacks. Left short on the serve, back set off to the right. The Wilson attack denied for one of the first times today. Now they go to Burke. Rasmussen on the USD side is there. Dump attempt, money for Taylor Wilson. Wilson gets the quick strike, and both teams have utilized that really well. Second touch is ordinarily your passing touch, not necessarily so for the Bison or the Yotes. Both have gone to that with regularity. Wilson rewarded with a chance to serve, finding Close in the back. Rasmussen set up right against the net. Spun off the digging away for Mackenzie Burke. And 12-9 and a 4-1 run for the Bison. Mackenzie rotates to the back. Another good serve that was right at Susak. Bison hold on. Mackenzie's going to have to generate some offense from the rear. She's very good at that, getting better as of late. And it will, in fact, be her kill. We'll say contact by the Bison. There we go. USD pleading their case in a big way. I did not see that as a point for the Coyotes at all. They are besides themselves. That's going their way.
I did not have a touch, but there could have been one.
I don't have a touch. I have it out.
You have it out?
Yeah, I have it out.
Okay.
Point stays with the Bison. And you got to do a little bit of eavesdropping there as well. So the no touch made, and the point remains with North Dakota State. It is the correct call. There was no touch. That one goes wide and gets USD fired up as they feel they get the benefit of the call back. Coach Williamson fired up real quick. Don't take long there. Outstanding coach. Record wins. The assistant at South Dakota before she became the head coach as the Bison come over the top. And then the 2016 Summit League Coach of the Year. Has done a really good job with the South Dakota program, as has Jen Lopez on the Bison side here in her first year. Dumped over. And USD gets it over, but it should create a chance for North Dakota State. Sent Gelsanite. Chance created, chance taken advantage of. Point Bison. Now Bella will check back in. Michaela Purnell will go back to serve. Dumped over, Jessen trying to get it right back. Rasmussen answers with one of her own. Back and forth we go. Slowed down, fortunately so, by the Bison block. Mackenzie Burke ran up, but that was perfectly timed. That's really good prep work by the Coyotes, recognizing that Mackenzie loves to generate offense from the back. Kelly Law was in the right place, right time. I think she got some help from the tape there as well. Lots of to the back. Rasmussen runs underneath it, leaves it over on that left side, and why not? You've got Erica Gelsanite over there. Bison responding to every Coyote point here in set number 2. As Allie Malk rejoins the attack and Bree Rasmussen goes back to serve. Rasmussen to the back. Just lobbed over, but right at Michaela Purnell. Allie Malk right off the bench. Finds number 2 on the other side and Brittany Jessen. Now it's lined up for Lotion. Lotion looking for it. Rasmussen denies it. Offense comes way off the webbing, and an awkward look there for Erica Gelsanite as she had to try and adjust mid-flight. And it winds up being the one to put the Coyotes 2 away from the Bison margin. Rasmussen to Mackenzie Burke in the back row. Gelsanite tries to lob it over. She can't. Kept alive. And just to get me over touch there for Mackenzie Burke. Chance ball, USD, spun off the block, kept alive. Nice job by Allie Malk. Now she's going to get an attack on it as well. It was a good one. The USD rallies to it. Lotion bumps it in. Jessen sends it over. Gelsanite left side. Touch on the way out, no. Yeah, too much height there for Gelsanite. Verticality hurts her that time as she whips it over the block, but right into the Coyote bench. Rasmussen, tough set, right up against the net. Does a good job to avoid contact with the webbing. Delivered a pass, but the attack goes wide. Now the South Dakota Coyotes on a roll again. Rasmussen to Gelsanite. Bree Rasmussen sets it up. Allie Malk to the back row. Nicely done by Dotson. Haley called upon again, and Haley there to answer again. Off to the left, Mackenzie Burke gets the dig. Rasmussen back set, short side, not there. Not enough height for Bella. Now, a quick sub will come. Coach Lopez looking for a spark, and she will try and get Emily Halverson involved. The middle checks in at 6'3", the youth movement in full swing here on the front row. Rasmussen to Gelsanite, tough dig, and Purnell just have to put it over. Free ball, USD off the tape, and a dig opportunity there for Purnell. Now Gelsanite got it. NDSU needed some type of stopper, and it comes from the transfer out of Columbus State. Now we'll see Alexis Bachmeyer come in, and a really young unit on the floor for the Bison. Sans the seniors. into the tape. An unfortunate time for a service error for Alexis Bachmeyer. NDSU leaves it out there. So senior, senior, junior, freshman, freshman, freshman. In the youth, they trust, and why not? This time it's the junior, Mackenzie Burke, with a bullet to even us back up at 17. Burke having another really good offensive performance. 5 on 12, picking up right where she left off. First the Leathernecks and the Jacks. Now it's McGowan. Speaking of freshmen, the serving specialist comes in and watches one come from the right side, dug out well by her senior setter. Bree Rasmussen, cross court, back to Burke again. 2 for 2. 2 looks, 2 knockdowns for Mackenzie Burke. Taking over, and the Herd on the march again. Now it's McGowan to the back row, handled well by Fonseca. Offense comes way off the webbing, clean chance. Purnell bump set, left side, Burke denied. This time USD knew exactly where it was going to come from. It's Brittany Jessen on the rejection for South Dakota. Christina Susak will go back to serve for USD. She comes home with a low-lying serve that finds McGowan. Good fake in the middle. USD did not buy it. Taylor Wilson is there again for South Dakota. NDSU holding on to that timeout. Coach Lopez trying to let her squad win it back on the floor. Rasmussen just a little bit offline for Jess Jorgensen, and now the Bison will indeed call that timeout. It's USD by 2, looking to get up 2-0. Happy to have you here on the BEK Broadcasting Network, celebrating its 11th year delivering high school and collegiate athletics to the viewers of North Dakota. A big thank you to the people and businesses that make it all possible. Today, those people: Jordan Lowry, Jesse Schwab, Jared Calvert, and Cole Willetsko, back in our BEK studios at the University of Mary. The businesses: North Dakota Firefighters Association, Farmers Union Insurance, Dakota Community Bank and Trust, and the BEK Communications Cooperative. Susak serves to the back, perfect. The worst case scenario after the pause for North Dakota State, it is an ace for Christina Susak. By the way, a quick scoring update in the ORU game. They are handling the Leathernecks, so the Golden Eagles will in all likelihood retain that first place spot. Right now the Bison trying to hold on to the 2 spot. Loser of this game will fall to what is actually 4th, but is 3rd because it'll be a 2-way tie for 2nd, with Denver having won. Off to the left it comes, kept alive for the North Dakota State University Bison, and Jessica Jorgensen delivers on the kill for North Dakota State. Abby Close back to the line for NDSU, trailing by just 1 and needing a spark here late. 2-0 is not an impossible comeback to make, but it is not an easy one by any means. That will go wide. Once again, USD will plead its case, and once again, I think they're wrong. This Bison block gets to a lot of volleyballs, but they did not get to that one. And a yellow card is issued to Coach Leanne Williamson. First time you get a note. The second time, it's up to the official's discretion, and now an official warning issued to the South Dakota bench. Abby Close to the back row. Sent over to the far side, kept alive off the SU wall. Now back set, attack again, comes from Haley Dotson. And immediate dividends are there for South Dakota. Taylor Wilson will go back to serve for South Dakota. Now NDSU will try and ice her, calling a late timeout. 22-21, the band is in the house, as they so often are here at Benson Bunker, adding to the excitement this building often experiences. Right now, It is excitement blended with suspense. The Bison trying to hold on here at Benson Bunker. The game hanging in the balance here in the very late second set. If either team can get on a run of 2 or 3 points in a row, they can wrest control one way or the other with the long pause looming here in Fargo. Set off to the left side, a good look for Burke, but USD gets to it again. Their floor coverage has been absolutely exemplary today, and Haley Dotsett is there for the kill. Your kill leader for South Dakota finds another and puts the Yotes 2 away. It's been a quality service run for Taylor Wilson. Close to Rasmussen. Back to Jess Jorgensen, but right at Taylor Wilson. Relatively grounded attack. Still a good one for USD. Deep shove by Burke. Corralled by the South Dakota attack. Dotsett delivers a shove. The answer for the Bison is there. Jessica Jorgensen has been a necessary piece for North Dakota State here in set number 2. Number 1 has been clutch with a K. That doesn't make any sense, but you know what I'm trying to do there. Mackenzie Burke from the Iron Bison. And into the stands, brought back. Talk about floor coverage. Now, a free ball. The Bison have to capitalize, and they do. Erica Gelsenite on a dime. 23-23. Timeout, Coyotes here in Fargo. Both teams, both staffs working hard here. 23-23. These squads know it, these fans know it. Big spot here in the season, just a few games remaining for both of these two teams. North Dakota State, one more home matchup against the Mastodons of Fort Wayne. That was a loss for the Bison earlier this year. They're going to try and reclaim that. And of course, the biggest one remaining on the schedule, the matchup in Tulsa, Oklahoma. One last shot at Laura Milosh and Oral Roberts. Meanwhile, for South Dakota, they have those two teams as 2 of their next 3. They'll be back home in Vermillion for a pair next weekend. Fort Wayne and Omaha, then at Oral Roberts, at the Jackrabbits versus Denver. A difficult stretch by any measure. Remaining for South Dakota, the serve will go just wide for NDSU. Now set point. In both of our games last weekend, it was the second set that was the most contentious, often going to the lockup. And that's exactly what North Dakota State will hope for. Rasmussen to Gelsenite off the block. Burke does a good job to keep it alive, and the Bison have a chance. Set at the net. It's Kelly Law, Purnell to Rasmussen to Gelsenite. Somebody's going to have to score 2 in a row. Relief on the Bison side is the only word to describe the necessity of that point. They survive, and now one miscue cannot doom them. However, that is one. That's lined up for Halverson and company. Just took an odd hop on her at the end. So now the second set point comes for the University of South Dakota. Of the last 3, it's Haley Dotsett at the service line. Rasmussen to Gelsenite, contacted out. Bison even it up again. Allie Mauk checks in. Bison go with the young front line. The defensive setup bolstered by the presence of the now server, Bree Rasmussen. To Annie Rasmussen on the other side. It's Susak off the Bison wall and away. South Dakota will not allow NDSU to find themselves in a set point situation. Taylor Wilson checks in for South Dakota. Rasmussen just off the tape. Good job by Kelsanite to go to ground early, but it doesn't matter. The Bison were out of system. South Dakota took advantage. It is Taylor Wilson, the most valuable Coyote through 2 sets, that gives the University of South Dakota a 2-0 lead here at the break. Now the Bison need to mount a huge comeback to try and keep things going here at Benson Bunker. Welcome you back in here to Benson Bunker Fieldhouse. The Bison trailing now 2-0 to the Coyotes of South Dakota. NDSU beat them at their place. USD looking for a bit of turnabout and fair play. For these Coyotes of South Dakota, it really has been the end of each set that has really defined what they've been able to do, as we have one other game here on the BEK Broadcasting Network here at Benson Bunker Fieldhouse. It can be a longer part of our look ahead, brought to us by John Star Locks Incorporated, JSI, celebrating more than 50 years of balancing progress with perspective for communications providers. Of course, you have today's game, the Coyotes of South Dakota taking on the Bison of NDSU. Tuesday on BEK Prime, it'll be a good one in Class A volleyball as the Saints of St. Mary's take on the Mandan Braves. Thursday, it's a rivalry in this neck of the woods, so if you're watching here in the Fargo-Moorhead area, one to lock into on Thursday. It is the Spartans and the Bruins, North versus South in North Dakota High School volleyball. And on Friday, a pair of teams make the trip to the capital city out of Fargo. Fargo South Bruins will take on the Bismarck Demons as the 3 out of the West takes on the 2 out of the West takes on the 3 out of the East. And then the night game from the exact same place, the Bowl in Bismarck, we'll see the number 1 out of the West, Century, take on the number 4 out of the East in Davies. That is a look at our JSI look ahead on what's coming up on BEK Prime. Also a little bit further ahead on Friday, November 3rd. The only home game that weekend as the Mastodons come to town that Friday evening. We will have it for you here on the BEK Broadcasting Network. You may be wondering why there aren't 2 games that weekend. Well, it was going to be IUPUI, but they're not in the conference anymore. We'll take one last time out here on the BEK Broadcast, and when we get back, it'll be go time for set 3. Bison try to come back. Coyotes try to end it. 2-0 South Dakota leads here on the BEK Broadcasting Network as we begin set number 3. It is the beginning of a pivotal swing for the Bison of North Dakota State. Obviously, this game right here versus USD, then the road trip to Tulsa to take on number 1 Oral Roberts. That can set up a matchup as well that can remain huge with the Denver Pioneers. The 4-game swing nearly in the books for NDSU. It began with a home matchup with Omaha, 3-0 win. Western Illinois, 3-0 win. Jackrabbits, 3-0 win. Now the Bison will try and make it a 3-2 win. North Dakota State has not lost a game at home this year. First attack to Kelsanite off the wall and won by the Coyotes. They attack it on the right side, and there on the rejection was Elizabeth Lotion. Rasmussen, tough set. Jorgensen punch, easy. Nice read. Jess Jorgensen sees the Coyotes creeping up because Jessica has gotten to some volleyballs with authority today. She recognizes the vacant spot in the back. Makes USD pay. Jessen, left, right on a platter for Kelly Law. Dump attempt denied. They knew to expect it. Did USD. They've done their homework. That one to the back line, finding the white line, and it's down for a kill for Erica Kelsanite. Purnell down the line to Annie Rasmussen. The dump comes for South Dakota, and it works perfectly. That's what you look for from your passing leader in Brittany Jessen. Lauren Madison out with injury. One of the top defensive players. They've leaned more on Jessen as well as Annie Rasmussen. We've seen in that libero spot all day long. But she has played it with exceptional skill, as has Bellian, and she has her first kill of set number 3. So Brio go back to serve for the Bison. We said in our Picky Holmes keys to the game segment, the key to the game for USD was finish. They have done that. A late run in each of the first 2 sets have erased what was a Bison lead in set 1 and set 2. So the starts have been there for North Dakota State. But unlike the matchup south of the border, the end game has eluded them to this point. That doesn't mean they can't find it in a hurry following some locker room adjustments. Now off to the left is Christina Susak, and it is there for the Bison. Eliane on the block. Bella had an outstanding game earlier this year versus USD, and now the Bison need her even more. McGowan comes in. The volleyball legacy trying to make a mark here against South Dakota. However, her serve will go wide. Christina Susak on the recognition. Haley Dotsett will welcome in Fonseca to the game. Mahana Fonseca with a serve from the N and Bison just over the tape. Well read by McGowan. Short set on the right side. Dinked over. And a lunge by Rasmussen. We talked about the skill of the Phil and Libero. We saw it right there, and despite that skill, the Bison take advantage. Jessica Jorgensen comes in, joins that front line attack. Alexis Bachmeyer comes into the back row and will serve for NDSU. Bachmeyer right down the line. There it is, Alexis Bachmeyer with an ace. Her second of the day for NDSU. Bachmeyer just off the tape. Dumped over. Rasmussen knows how to play that. It's going to be Allie Mauk, right side end. Down, Allie Mauk has the Bison in action. The former Warbird trying to give flight to her offense. One more time here in set 3. Bachmeyer's fourth serve, just as good as the first. Doesn't result as an ace, but it set Fonseca on her back heel. Off the Bison front. Rasmussen, the diversion. Jorgensen, the actual attack. Allie Mauk and the flanker off the right delivers the strike for the Bison. Now South Dakota's seen enough. NDSU's doing it again, but it is all about how do they end this third set. Bison trying to buy a little bit more time here at Benson Bunker Fieldhouse. They lead 8-4 on top of the Coyotes of South Dakota. USD held their team in that huddle for the full length of that timeout. And one of the things I think the fans have noticed this year about Jen Lopez, the head coach of this Bison team, is how effective a communicator she is, not only with her team on the floor, but in the huddle as well. The Bison, despite being down 2-0, were the first out of the halftime break, doing a really good job of delivering the message with efficiency. Cross-court set over to the far side. Allie Mauk just missed. Spun off the block and put away by Christina Susak. And she'll be rewarded with a chance to serve. She heads to the back row. Her team still trailing by 3. Rasmussen has to lunge at it. She bumps it for Allie Mauk. Not there this time. Number 2 on the other side is Brittany Jessen, and the cross-court shot is there for Taylor Wilson. Taylor Wilson is now 5 of 9, and she will finish this game, in all likelihood, hovering right around a .500 hitting percentage. Just a gutting efficiency for the team on the other side. Rasmussen jump set, just Jorgensen off some USD hands. They roll left side again, and it works again. It's Haley Dotsett. Haley had the most kills versus the Leathernecks a few days ago. 14 kills versus the Bison last time. Not quite at that pace today with 7, but still a very good day, leading her team in that category. Now the Bison get a fortunate bounce as that serve goes into the net. It'll bring Abby Close off the bench to serve for the Bison. Brittany Jessen looking again near side for Dotsett. She has been the focal point as of late. Mackenzie Burke cross court. And she will get the better of Rasmussen and company. Down for Mackenzie Burke. Erica Gelsanite is your kill leader, just as she was the last time these two teams met up. But Jess Jorgensen and Mackenzie Burke are right behind her. The 2 freshmen also in that conversation. Allie and Bella have been really good today. Off to the left it comes, knocked up by Abby Close. Mackenzie Burke, again, the wicked velocity for Mackenzie Burke. It's why she can generate offense from any spot on the floor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've seen her more often at that 6 in the back row and anywhere in the front. The strength of Mackenzie Burke pays dividends for the Bison, reclaiming that 4-point lead. Trying to shove it through the block. Bison too strong for that. Dumped over. Run by USD. Rasmussen on a bump set. Chance ball. North Dakota State. Burke one more time. Knocked straight up on the dig. Quality work on the defensive side by USD. Howard through the block. Haley Dotson on the spot for USD. Taylor Wilson will go back to serve for the Oats. Wilson to Michaela Purnell. Rasmussen over to Jess Jorgensen. Jessica Jorgensen, as we talk about efficient players, has been the most efficient Bison player today. Whether you choose to mark it at a point of volume or no, in terms of total hitting percentage, and even more so impressive when you realize she has 9 kills. That one is just dinked over. Well executed by USD. Fonseca will check out, giving way to Elizabeth Lotion. Awards all over the South Dakota roster. Setter of the year, freshman of the year, coach of the year. The Bison with their young core right with them in the Summit League. That's a big reason why. Bree Rasmussen on the dump and kill. Lillian checks in. Right down to the back row, libero to libero, nice serve by Michaela Purnell, kept up by Close, going to Gelsanite, Gelsanite off hands, and the point will come for the University of South Dakota. The whistle comes against Bree Rasmussen and the Bison. That's it to serve, Rasmussen. The no-look dump, really cool to look at. But South Dakota again prepared for it. Off to the left it comes, and the keep alive is there for USD. Bella right side, again, South Dakota rallies. They're getting to everything. That time they had contact with the antenna. But before that, a whistle against the Bison. And so the point will stay with the Coyotes. Some self-inflicted wounds by North Dakota State. Still playing very well, though, here in set 3. With plenty of time to turn around, hitting just under 200. They're going to try and bring about a 4th set. You have to take it one set at a time when down 2-0. Right side, dinked through. Purnell right there. Deep shove, got it, dumped over. Bree Rasmussen has it again. 2 kills on the day. Excuse me, 3. Now Rasmussen will go back to the service line. And she will look for a flurry from the back row. One of the Bison's elite servers. Instead, the front wins out. It's Bellian, but USD keeps it alive as they so often have. Diving stop by Gelsanite, back onto the South Dakota side, but right at Purnell. Now Bellian back corner wide. Great idea by Bella, just missing that far corner white line. Annie Rasmussen, one of the defensive leaders, back to serve. Bree Rasmussen to the middle. Allie Mouth, welcome back. Allie can so often be the spark plug, playing front row only and mostly middle or right. Not too much opposite work for Allie, though. Still a good amount. Trying to keep her involved all across that front row. Set right along the middle and kept alive. Purnell bump set over to Mackenzie Burke, straight to the back, and now a cross-court angle. Very nearly there just gotten over. Good job by Bellian, but USD will be unable to cash in on the point. I thought that hit the floor. Bison hold on again. Now rally right side again. Knocked up by Brie Rasmussen, but out of play. So USD will get the point just a few moments later. The Bison defense able to elevate their play for a long rally, but the confidence booster goes the way of the Coyotes, who are starting to feel it now, cutting that deficit for most of set 3 in half from 4 to 2. Rasmussen, Burke, and it will now be just 1. South Dakota on a roll again. A lost set 1 and set 2. Rasmussen bumped. It's going to be Burke. No problem for Haley Dotson and company. Dumped over, but right at Michaela Purnell. Back set, right side, not there for Allie Mauk. The retort, a powerful one. Joust at the net. Won by Brie Rasmussen and company. And the point will not be won by North Dakota State. They don't know it yet, but contact ruled on the way out. This one's going to USD. May have seen some finger bend, and now Brie Rasmussen will be sent to argue her case to our near side official. Robin Corche and Tim Harlow have done an outstanding job of officiating this game. But in a game amidst really well contested Summit League teams, you're gonna have these micro calls that take on a macro significance. And this call is going to stay with South Dakota. Kenzie Burke over the block, the diving stop there for Dotson. The tack rolls left side, wide, but contacted through again for NDSU. Just off the tape, just a hand for Michaela Purnell. Back row, it's Dotson. Centered up and into the stands. One right in the heart at the 3 position by number 3. Taylor Wilson, timeout Bison. South Dakota has reclaimed the lead and is now by 2. 17-15 here on the BEK Broadcasting Network. The Bison leading for most of this third set, but right now it is South Dakota. Here in a game brought to us by the North Dakota Firefighters Association, along with the BEK Communications Cooperative, Dakota Community Bank and Trust, and Farmers Union Insurance. Bison fans trying to rally up. A difficult day, certainly the most adversity that the Bison have faced here at home. Closest it's come was a 5-setter out of conference versus the Mountaineers of Appalachian State. That was all the way back at the beginning of the year. Doesn't feel like that long ago for us. For these players, it has to feel like a ways. Delzanite is going to get the first. Rasmussen sets it up. Bello with a whack, but it doesn't matter. Now, to the other freshman on the floor, it is Allie Mauk, unable to cash in. Cross court, back wide. And the Bison have unfortunately had some contact with some pivotal swings. This block is almost too good right now. Managing to get to some balls they would prefer not to in the grander scheme. Rasmussen to Mackenzie Burke. Is that the one to spark North Dakota State? They need something. Now Jess Jorgensen will come in. Alexis Bachmeyer comes in as well. She's had a really good service day, and that could absolutely be the thing to get SU going. Bachmeyer into the net. Unfortunate timing. That can happen with a freshman at any spot. A very talented freshman. At that time, an immediate side out comes, and it's Christina Susak in South Dakota. And it will be an ace for Christina Susak. That is her second service ace of the day. 2 of the now 5 for the University of South Dakota. They have controlled the service game today in a big way. Good job by Allie Mauk. The freshman has impressed this South Dakota front line with her strength and athleticism, so that way she just decides to spin it right off with the change up right off the wall and delivers on the kill. Abby Close to the back row, handled by Fonseca. Attack comes near side off the Bison front, kept alive for Purnell and company. Now Jess Jorgensen hovering in the air. Answer, middle. Floor coverage there for Michaela Purnell and a get me over for Mackenzie Burke. Chance ball USD. Roll right side, Wilson. Net violation against Mackenzie Burke. Mackenzie frustrated by it. This is how the last 2 sets have gone. South Dakota has won late. In the second set, the Bison rallied to lock things up at 24 and force the issue. Now they'll need another big counterpunch here to try and extend this ball game at home and defend their undefeated streak this season here at Benson Bunker. Left side, it's Mackenzie Burke splitting the difference in the back row. Burke has done a really good job of elevating and getting over the block. She does it again there. Burke in the back row, sent to Fonseca. Lobs into the block. Number 1 on number 1 crime, and Jess Jorgensen gets the better of Kelly Law. Couple in a row now for North Dakota State. Burke, back row, Susak. Watches on as that is played near side for Dotsit. Good job by Purnell. And Gelsanite just has to bump set it over. Left up, right in the middle. Bison time it up at the wall. Jorgensen watches on as the dump is there. Jana Rasmussen, a timely senior play. Here come the Bison again, just like set 2. But they need the exclamation point. Burke, back row, joust at the net. Won by South Dakota. Bit of a miscommunication there on the USD side, and it will indeed result in a Bison point. Now, North Dakota State with 3 in a row, locking it up at 21. Burke into the webbing. South Dakota will not relinquish the lead. The errors have been untimely for NDSU, whereas South Dakota has made just about as many, but they have come early in the sets. For North Dakota State, they've come in the swing points. Sometimes that's just bad luck. Set near side, moonshot, but there is no Bison contact this time. NDSU gets it back. And as this game has truly become a game of inches and fingertips, this one goes the way of the Bison. Lillian checks in. She joins that front row effort. Right through to the middle. Good job by Mackenzie Burke. She has to get something going from the back. It's just a bump over. Dump over, slide, and they work on that in practice all the time to the Bison of North Dakota State. But Gelsanite's attack goes wide, but it doesn't matter. A whistle against South Dakota. It comes against Brittany Jessen. And now North Dakota State leads for the first time in a long time. Middle, huge hit by Kelly Law. Kelly Law has just 4 kills, but they have all seemingly come at huge points in this game to go along with her 2 blocks as well. She has been a supplemental but essential part of this South Dakota 2-0 lead and 23 all. Cross court set, Gelsanite, perfect read by South Dakota and Brittany Jessen. They flip the point of attack but find Michaela Purnell. Now Gelsanite again off the left side. A well struck volleyball by Erica Gelsanite that will not come back over. For the first time today, it's set point. NDSU to try and extend the game. Timeout, Coyotes. 24-23, the North Dakota State Bison trying to hold on and win set number 3 to force the issue to a 4th. A huge swing point here. You do not want to allow South Dakota back into the evens. Rasmussen off the tape and a lunge there to keep it alive for South Dakota. And it comes over a communication breakdown at the worst possible time for the Bison. Timed up with a short ball. That hurts. So now somebody is going to have to score 2 in a row. Rasmussen to Gelsanite. She is going to get the attack right out of the USD point. Coyotes respond with a dink attempt of their own. It's Christina Susak who delivers a whistle against the Bison. A double touch. Game, set, and match point. South Dakota. Timeout, NDSU trying to hold on. South Dakota leading by 1 and a chance to end this thing in 3. The Bison need 1 here or this game ends. For South Dakota on this day, a 260 hitting performance. They have been out hit today by NDSU. The Bison have hit a whooping 304. Despite that, South Dakota, right place, right time. A chance to try and end it. The Bison will have to try and carry over that statistical edge to a chance here. Gelsanite, tough dig. She wants 3rd and final. Malk off the block. That does it. The final point of the day goes to the University of South Dakota, 26-24. They take 2 sets in extra points and will come to Fargo, and for the first time, the NDSU Bison will fall on their home floor. That means it is South Dakota and Denver in 2nd, and NDSU will now be 2 games behind the regular season Summit League title. We'll take a look at it when we get back right here on the BEK Broadcasting Network. A 3-0 victory for the Coyotes of South Dakota over the Bison of North Dakota State. NDSU does not often lose here. They certainly do not often lose in sweeping fashion. However, that is the case today. And as you can see there on your screen, 2 of those 3 sets went to extras, and you could easily see the Bison having won both of those sets. Unfortunately, South Dakota made the plays very late, and well, one of the biggest reasons why is our Choice Financial Player of the Game, Taylor Wilson. The junior out of Indiana and the transfer out of Stony Brook was massive today with 7 kills, near a team high, an incredibly efficient hitting number, and she got the blocks going as well. She delivered on some timely strikes throughout the course of today's contest for the University of South Dakota, and timely is the word of the day for USD, winning in Fargo by a margin of 3-0. So Taylor Wilson, our Choice Financial Player of the Game. I want to remind you that Choice Financial is people first. You can find out what that means at choicefinancialgroup.com. That is going to do it for us here from Fargo. Remember, next week we got plenty of Fargo athletics, and we're back here for senior night versus the Mastodons of Fort Wayne in early November. For Jesse Schwab and Jordan Lowry, as well as Jared Calvert and Jeff Willetsko, I'm Corey Brooks. Have a great night. We hope that we will see you later on this week.